Boys and girls, let's think of a time when you were playing hide and seek with your friends. Maybe you were on the playground and you were playing hide and seek and you had to hide. The other person had to come find you. Think about it. Are there many places to hide out in our field when we're at recess? Not too many, right? Let's pretend that you found the best hiding spot and you found this hiding spot and you were not going to get caught, but you had to get back to base. You had to get back to base eventually, and you were there for so long you figured, okay, no one's come to get me. They don't know where I am. I'm going to run over there and get to the base first. Think about this. If you started walking over and you saw your friend, you said, is that person it? And he said, no, the person who's it, he's over there. And he tricks you into thinking that the person who's it is over there. But remember, you've been hiding for a long time, so you're not really sure who's it. So you sneak and you try to get to that base. But when you walk past your friend, he tags you, he says, you're it. And he tricked you. He knew where your hiding spot was. You got out of your hiding spot and he got you. Well, think about this. I want you to think about the reason why I brought it up is because we need to describe things. We need to say where things are. And the name of this description of where things are is called a preposition. But when I think about a preposition, I think of a tattletale, like your friend who was tattling on you, who said that that's where you were. You ever have that happen? Maybe it's your little brother. It's usually the little brother or little sister that says, she's hiding over there, go find her. In your game of tag, you were hiding, you were thinking that you were going to get away with it, but they were tattling on you. Well, these little words we know as prepositions, I call them tattletale words because they tell where something is. Think about two toys that you have. Maybe you have dolls or action figures and you set them up on your table. And think about that. Maybe you have two little action figures. They're sitting on the table and you put one on the right and one on the left. They're sitting next to. Do you know of a word that is a tattletale word to tell where that toy is? It's next to. But let's say you were taking blocks and you put the blocks one on top of the other. You're stacking them on top, right? On would be the preposition word. That tattletale word that's in the sentence that tells you where it's tattling on you. Think about things like cars. If you lined up some cars and you can put cars next to each other, or you can put them behind each other, or put a car in front of. Those are all those words that are tattletale words like prepositions. Now, there are a lot of prepositions, okay? There are actually 46 prepositions, and there'll come a time in our language lesson where I'll have to ask you to take out a piece of paper and write 46 prepositions, all from memory. And you'll be able to do it. I know you can. I know easy ways to help you to remember those 46 prepositions. Boys and girls, I'm going to introduce you to this song to help us to remember these prepositions. Some of you may know it already and you can help me out. Let's listen to me first and then we can sing together. Aboard, about, above, across, after, against, along, among, around, at. That's the first set. Before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, by, down, during, except, for and from, in, inside, into, like, near, of, on, over, past, since, through, and throughout, to, toward, under, underneath, until, up, upon, with, within, without, that, now we are finished. Okay, let's do it again together. Help me out. Aboard, about, above, across, after, against, along, among, around, at, and that's the first set. Before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, by, down, during, except, for and from, in, inside, into, like, near, of, on, over, past, since, through, and throughout, to, toward, under, underneath, up, till, up, upon, with, within, without. Now we are finished. Boys and girls, You did a great job. Make sure you're practicing. So boys and girls, on your language paper for today, we are on page 100 and, well, it's lesson 136, page number 205. Okay, should look like this. We're starting a new unit on prepositions. Your big blue box, remember, is everything that we should have went over talking about prepositions. If you take a look here, the words in dark black are some of the prepositions in our song: in, near, beside, on, by, behind, under. The way that they use them in a sentence, they give you some examples, and it tells you down here the preposition in dark print show the particular relationship between Polly sleeping and her birdhouse. Now, the noun after the preposition, if you look here on underneath her birdhouse, that word that is after the preposition her, that's called the object of the preposition. The object of the preposition, boys, is what is it referring to. So, Polly sleeps underneath her birdhouse. Underneath what? Her, okay? That's her is the object of the preposition. If you turn the page over, you will see the prepositions. These are just like the ones in our song. They're in the same alphabetical order, and it's easier to remember for you in alphabetical order. You'll go ahead and make sure to keep this page for the next few weeks. This will be very helpful to you, especially when we have that quiz that I was mentioning. On the bottom of this page, you will see a writing activity to fill in the blanks with the appropriate preposition. You'll be able to use the words in yellow to fill this out. We'll do the first two together and you'll finish on your own. We went blank Joseph's house on Greeley Street. We went to Joseph's house on Greeley Street. Now, there's not exactly the right answer, but there's ones that are better than others. So you can use to in that space. The wars, blank the English and the French were long and bloody. The blank wars. The blank wars. What do you think? I'm looking here at my list. The wars. We have aboard, about. Let's sing it again. Aboard, about, above, across, after, against. I don't have it in front of me. I should do that. Aboard, about, above, across, after, against, along, among, around, at. Whoops. Before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, by, down, during, except, for, and from, in, inside, into, like, near, of, off, on, over, past, since, through, and throughout, to, toward, under, underneath, until, up, upon, with, within, without. Now we are finished. So let's go back and we will check the wars. How about between? Doesn't that make sense? The wars between the French and the English and the French were long and bloody. Between. So you're saying you're looking for the word that helps you find the relationship between English and the French. The English and the French would be our objects of the preposition. Okay? Go ahead and finish this worksheet and we will see you tomorrow for your next language lesson.